Good morning and welcome to the Library Show. We have a lot of interesting things for you today. The first thing we're going to do is talk about some hot reads for the summer. This is Joe and I'm Donna. And Joe, will you want to start off with the questions here?
Good morning, I'm Joe, and for those of you who may know me, you're probably wondering why I'm dressed like this. Well, this morning we had staff appreciation and we were able to wear t-shirts and I danced with the Library Dream Team. And this week is National Library Week. And today I'm going to talk with Donna about some hot reads for the summer. And so Donna, what do you have in that bag for us today?
Well, this first book that I want to talk about really is a hot read. It was published in 2012. It's still being read. If you haven't read it, you should try it. It is a thriller. It starts out just surprising you. It has 100 twists and turns. You never know what's going to happen next. It's got a very interesting plot. It keeps you up wanting to find out what's going on. It was read by several book clubs. Most of them really loved it just because it's an adrenaline rush. So it's the perfect book for just hanging out, doing nothing, and reading for the rest of the afternoon.
Is this a good book for if you have a man in your book club?
You know, the main character is a man, so absolutely this is good for for anyone. It's not a woman's book, it's not a man's book, it's just a good, fun book.
I know you don't want to tell us anything about the book. Can you just say one little thing about the book that will pull people in?
On a couple's 5th wedding anniversary, she disappears. And everything points to him as the reason that she's gone.
Okay. So tell us what's the title of the book and the author one more time.
Right. It's Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. It is available at the library. I urge you to check it out if you haven't read it.
I haven't read it, but I can say this was a hot book when it first came out, and it's still hot. It's so hot you can hardly keep it in your hands, so I think it's a good book. What else do you have?
I'd like to talk about Beautiful Ruins. This also was a 2012 book. It made the book group discussion rounds. I resisted reading it for a while just because everything I had heard about it said, this is great, this is perfect, this is wonderful, read it. I had to see for myself. And I started reading it, and I thought, well, I wonder if my book group is going to like it, and gradually fell in love with the book. It's got a lot of characters. It takes place in Italy in 1962 during the making of the film Cleopatra. But it also comes forward to the present day. Richard Burton has a nice little cameo role in the book. It's a book with several characters, each of whom is trying his or her best to get over failure. You know, the title Beautiful Ruins is what happens when, you know, you pursue your dreams and sometimes it just doesn't work out. But it's an absolutely inspiring, wonderful book. At the end of it, I was just totally in love.
Now, you said that it starts in past history, 1962, and then goes forward. Is it one of those books that you have one chapter in 1962 and then one chapter in 2003 and then it goes back to 1963?
Yes.
Does it go that way?
It does go that way. But it goes to different places. Mm-hmm. The thing is that you're learning the story as the characters learn the story.
Okay.
So it makes sense in that aspect.
And you said it's a lot of characters. Do you have a hard time keeping up with them?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No.
So that's Beautiful Ruins by Jess Walters.
Mm-hmm.
And what else do you have for us today?
This last book was a surprise to me. People rarely surprise me with a book I've never heard of, but one of my patrons recommended The Gargoyle by Andrew Davidson. He said he had read it for his book group, and all of the men, and it's a male book group, they loved it, which surprised me when I saw the cover. It takes place now and in the 14th century. The main character, the first chapter starts out, the main character is seriously injured in an automobile crash, burns. He describes everything in graphic detail. Mm-hmm. And then you go through his rehabilitation some. But what it's mostly about is how we create our own hell or heaven, and the relations between people. And the bottom line is, does love really last through the centuries? It's a very well written book. It keeps you reading, it keeps you interested. Our book group really, really loved it.
Now, when I look through this book, you know, most people highlight in yellow. This book had some highlights in black.
Well,
What is-
there is a character who appears in this book, and I'll just flip through it, and you can see some black writing. That character is not nice. That's all you need to know.
what about the Japanese writing?
One of the characters is Japanese. So he puts the language, he puts the typeset in Japanese, but then translates it.
It's translated. Okay, thank you, Donna. So could you give us
This-
the titles and the authors of
Right,
these
we've
books
got
one more time?
Gargoyle by Andrew Davidson, which I highly recommend. Not many people have heard of it, but it's a marvelous book. Beautiful Ruins by Jess Walter, and Gillian Flynn writing Gone Girl.
So here are some hot reads for the summer. You can stop by your public library to pick them up. You don't have to go to the bookstore and buy them. They're all for free. And if you don't like these, we have many, many others for you to choose from.
Good one, son.
Last summer, my new dad took me on vacation. First, we went deep sea fishing. Wow!
I'm so proud of you, son.
And then we went on Thunder Shark. That was awesome! Let's go again! 3 times. I gotta say, it was pretty cool.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Oh, not again.
Welcome back to the Library Show. We're here today with Lisa Jones. She's our brand new outreach librarian, and today she's going to tell us a little bit about the summer reading program. Lisa, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right, so we know you're excited about the summer reading program. What do people need to know? Give us a little sneak peek.
Well, every summer, the public library has a summer reading program, and this summer the theme is Fizz Boom Read.
Okay.
The science theme.
All right.
So we're going to have a lot of fun with it. But the purpose of the summer reading program is really just to keep students of all ages reading all summer. So it's from age 0 all the way through 12th grade.
Awesome.
So it's for everybody.
Okay.
Of course, we want adults to read too, but what we want to do is actually put something out there to motivate the students to keep reading because it's so important.
So important, absolutely. Yeah, there's so many other things to do over the summer except read, right? And so we really want to get kids into the library. First of all, it's air conditioned, so it doesn't get any better than that. But there are also lots of fun programs and stuff too. So tell us, do you have a little sneak peek of what's going on over the summer for that? What kind
For
of fun programs?
programming, for programming, we're having it for all ages. So family programming, some fun things like Lego Mania, where you can come in and have challenges to build different things with Legos. Other things that we're having for the teens, the county medical examiner will actually come in and talk about time of death and different things like that. That's for the teens.
Oh.
Another fun thing for the teens, they're actually going to do a special effects thing where they can learn more about special effects and the science, all linked to science. So
Absolutely.
It's a lot of fun.
That is really cool. And you know, STEM is so big nowadays anyway. You know, we want kids to be involved in science, technology, engineering, and math. So we love to see all of those really cool programs going on. So tell us a little bit about how people participate. So for kids birth to kindergarten, for example, how do they participate? Maybe they might not be reading yet.
Right, and they don't have to read as long as they're interacting with books. Of course,
Okay.
we want parents to read to them, and that's a great family activity. So they can still participate even if they're being read to by parents or by siblings. I
Okay.
love it when the siblings read to them. So to sign up for the program,
Mm-hmm.
you can come in the public library starting as soon as school is out or even before. You'll be able to pick up a reading log.
Okay.
And the reading log just helps, it's a tool to help you keep track of what you read over the summer. So the goal is just to read as much as you can. So for the younger kids, the parents, of course, will just kind of keep track on the log. And then the important thing I always say, before the school year starts next year, come back to the library and say, hey, I finished my summer reading goals. And then we want to celebrate that. We'll give them a certificate of completion. We'll give them a free book. We're so grateful this year that our foundation has actually secured books for all the elementary school students and younger.
We're very appreciative of that support, absolutely.
So that's awesome. So for the older kids, when they come back and tell us they finished their goals, we'll actually contact the schools. We're working really closely with Cobb County Public Schools
Awesome.
and with the Marietta City Schools because we want to work with them because we know it's so important that they read all summer.
Absolutely. Okay, so kids, school age and maybe to teenage years, they'll come in, they'll get their reading log, they'll fill everything out, and that's birth to 5th grade, they'll fill out the reading log. What about the teenagers? What do the teenagers do? And the adults, do we have something going on for them?
Well, for the teens, we want them to read. So we want them to come in as soon as school is out and get books so they can start reading. We will have the reading list from the schools.
Okay.
So, and we are really working hard to buy some books so that we have books on hand. So we're
Awesome.
working really hard on that. And then when they read a book, they can write a book review. So we're going to have prizes. I know that we're going to have some e-readers, and I know we're going to have at least one iPad.
Okay.
So we're still securing some different prizes, but every time they submit a book review, we'll actually put that in as a drawing for the iPad and different things like that. So most of the time, the students that age have to read something anyway.
Right.
So they might as well get in the drawing for the iPad.
Very cool.
Yes.
All right, so we really do have something for everyone. Birth to 102, right?
Yes. So
Absolutely.
even if you don't have kids, some of the things we're doing for the adults, maybe the older adults, is how to stay young. So we have some programming on keeping your brain young and working on your memory and different things like that. We always have computer classes. And then family programs. We have family programs. The Magic of Science is a really fun one that we're having this year that I'm excited about. So all ages would enjoy that.
Very cool. Now, the one thing we want to mention at the end of the summer, we have a big celebration, right? Do you have any details about that?
Well, I know that it's a science, Fizz Boom Read theme, so we know that it's going to be probably explosive, not too much, no real pyrotechnics, but it will be a lot of fun. It'll be a huge celebration, and we just want everybody to come.
Yeah, that's definitely a family event. It's on August the 2nd, and I believe it's going to be from 5 to 7 p.m. We'll have more information on our website, of course, and you can find all of those details at cubcat.org/SRP. So definitely something for everyone over the summer. I'm really excited about this. It should be a lot of fun.
I am very, very excited.
Awesome.
Can I say one more thing?
Absolutely,
Just about,
yeah.
I used to teach, and I love working in the public library with the teachers now. But one of the reasons that we do, all public libraries really work on summer reading is because we want the students to read it because if they don't, they'll experience summer reading loss.
Right.
And you're a marathon runner.
Yes.
So I like to use that analogy of if students don't read over the summer, it's kind of like if you were running a marathon and you took a break and stopped every 20 minutes.
Which I might, you know.
So if you took a break at 20 minutes and like you took a break for 10 minutes, all the runners would get way ahead of you. And what happens to students, they've done a lot of research. So what we know what happens, if they don't read over the summer, by the end of 6th grade, they're really like 2 years behind.
That's incredible.
It's huge. It's huge. So that's why we offer so many fun programs and we have so many awesome things going on all summer because we really, really want every student to read all summer long.
You know, fun, free educational programs are pretty hard to come by. So the library is really such a good value. And look, it doesn't get any better than that. Like you said, we have so many special guests coming in. We have a lot of partnerships with Cobb Seniors, with the medical examiner's office. I believe the fire department is going to come out. So really a lot of just fun things for the whole family. I mean, it really doesn't get any better than that. Both of us have kids. We know how hard it is to like keep them entertained over the summer. This is definitely a great way to do it. So awesome. Well, thanks so much for being on the show.
No, thank you.
All right. Is there anything else that we need to cover for summer?
I don't think so. I can just say a parent recently told me a story that I thought was worth sharing, and she said that she loved going to the summer reading programs because she got a little bored staying home with her students. So it's for the parents too. She said she really enjoyed going to the programming and taking the kids to the library because it was fun for her too.
Awesome. Yeah, there's definitely something for everybody.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for being on the show this morning.
Thank you.
All right, well, you can find more information about everything going on at the library this summer on our website. It's cubcat.org. We've got more of the library show coming up after this. See you soon.
Time to wake up. I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Don't forget, you've got a job to do today.
Hey, Mom. I got the job. Thanks.
I've got the job. Welcome aboard.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does. And like that, you're a job creator.
Hello, and welcome back to the Library Show. I'm Nicole, and today I'm with my colleague Cindy Holmberg. And today we're going to do another edition of Stump the Librarian. Now, every week the library receives thousands of reference questions, and in this segment we want to pull out a couple of questions we think will be interesting to share. So Cindy, what question do you have for us?
Well, I have an interesting question that came in that would be of interest to people who are really into history and genealogy. And the question that came in was in regards to this person's family crest. And they were wanting to know about the elements that were contained in the shield. And we were able to point them to some really great resources. And it falls within something that's called heraldry. And I was not familiar with that term. The great thing about being a librarian is that you learn along with your patrons. And what this has to do with is in medieval times, in the European countries, the way they tracked the genealogy was there was these people called heralds. And they were genealogists, and they would keep the records on the family crests, and it also had to do with the armory of these families. They had to do with the swords, their shields, and that kind of thing. And they had symbols that meant different things. And then you could identify what family they came from, which I thought was very interesting. This one book is called Basic Heraldry, and I like this book because if you're just starting out, it has a great section on the different parts of the crest, and you can break down those elements, and then you can find and track the history of your family through these different elements. And there's also a dictionary of heraldry that is very helpful as well, that you could look up. For example, on the crest that I showed you, it had an eagle, and you can look that up in your dictionary, and it will tell you a lot about that particular symbol, that it was a symbol of power that actually came forward from the Roman Empire. That was a great symbol of power, and it made its way into the shields of that time because it was a powerful symbol. So if you're interested in, if you've got European ancestry, I really highly recommend these books, and they are available at your libraries. And you have a question too, Nicole.
Yes, I got an interesting question. Of course, in the library we get a lot of questions about weather. So this question is, what area of the U.S. had the most tornadoes, and what area of the world other than the U.S. had the most tornadoes in a season? So I grabbed a couple of books. This is one called Extreme Weather.
And we have had some extreme weather here
recently.
recently.
We have. That's what
warm
makes it
one
pretty
day and
interesting.
cold the next.
And then this other one is great too, the Encyclopedia of Weather and Climate Changes. And I bookmarked this page.
I love this book. It has just got lots of pictures.
It is. And this particular page had a graphic of the information we were looking for. And you can see that you have a lot of tornadoes in the Midwest, United States. And so the answer for the highest number of tornadoes in the United States was Texas and Oklahoma coming in second, as you see.
Well, I knew Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But I was a little surprised about Texas.
Oh, yeah. And then also for internationally, we see that there are more tornadoes here in South America.
Which was also very surprising.
Oh, absolutely. But the interesting thing is you look at these graphics and you see that you look at Africa, there are not a lot of tornadoes. So it's very interesting when you research this, and it
probably will bring up more questions, but this is a great resource. And of course, the library has a lot of books on.
A lot, yeah. If you have a student that is doing a project on weather, there are so many books that we have at the library that will really help them. Or if you're an aspiring meteorologist, check out these books. They're so great and have so much information in them.
Yeah, and even just for fun. I enjoyed just flipping through it and looking
Absolutely.
at the information. Did you have another question for us?
I don't, but I want to hear questions from our community. We have set up an email address for the community to send us in some really wonderful questions. And so send them in. The email address is questions, and that's with an S on the end, at cobcat.org. And send us those questions, and we'll try to highlight them on the show. So we want you to participate. So next time, send us in your questions. And that's all we have. And so stay tuned. There's more of the show in just a moment.
Hey Beth, what are you doing?
I'm trying to create a formula for our Fizz Boom Read summer reading program, but it's really hard.
You know you can visit the library for summer reading, right? The librarians make it super easy to sign up.
Really?
Yeah. You go to the library and they give you your reading log, and all summer as you read, you just write down the titles of the books.
Whoa, that is easy. And then what?
At the end of July, bring your log back to your librarian. They give you a certificate, a free book, and you get to go to the summer party in August.
Cool. But how will I ever remember all that? Hey,
Dewey!
What? Oh, that's right. I can go to our website for more information. I can even sign up online.
You're right. Should we go sign up for the summer reading program?
Let's.
For more information about our summer reading program, visit the website at www.cobcat.org/SRP.
Can you consent with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now. No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. Planting seeds of inspiration to motivate some magic. To change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall. One book can make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first thing that helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Welcome back to the Library Show. I'm Shannon.
And I'm Beth. The theme of this year's summer reading program is Fizz Boom Read, and we're super excited, so we've brought some great science-themed books with us today. These books are super fun and no lab goggles required. This book, Scientrickery, Riddles in Science by J. Patrick Lewis, is a book of riddles written in rhyme. The clues are in the poems and pictures, and all the answers have to do with science. My favorite one is called G, but they're all pretty great. You should definitely check this one out and see if you can guess the answers.
That book sounds like a lot of fun. My first book is pretty fun too. It's called Science Verse by John Shuska. This book tells the story of Mr. Newton's science class through poetry. Each topic that the class studies is written in poem, from evolution to outer space. And each poem in the book is influenced by a famous poem. Can you guess which ones? If you can't, don't worry. The answers are in the back of the book.
This book is called Professor Aesop's The Crow in the Pitcher, and it's by Stephanie Gwynne Brown. It's based on Aesop's fable of the same name, in which a very thirsty crow tries to drink water from a pitcher. Unfortunately for the crow, the pitcher is too narrow and the water is too low for the crow to be able to drink. In both this book and the original fable, the crow has to find a way to get to drink the water. But in this story, the crow uses the scientific method to figure out a solution. Such a clever crow. I should add that the pictures are really fun too.
I don't have a book about a crow, but I do have one about a chick. It's called Argus by Michelle Knudsen. Sally's class is hatching eggs, but Sally's egg looks a little different from everyone else's. And when the eggs hatch, Sally's egg doesn't hatch a chick, it hatches a dragon. You can imagine all the trouble her dragon causes. But in the end, the class comes to accept Argus for who he is, even if he is a funny-looking chick.
This book is called Oh No! Or How My Science Project Destroyed the World, and it's by Mac Barnett. A girl creates an award-winning robot for the science fair, but the robot accidentally escapes and the city-destroying rampage begins. The very funny city-destroying rampage, that is. Luckily, this brilliant young scientist comes up with a solution to her robot problem. Or does she? This very funny book also has a very funny sequel called Oh No, Not Again! Or How I Built a Time Machine to Save History, or at least my history grade. History takes some peculiar twists and turns when our young scientist invents a time machine and managed to make a few not-so-minor changes.
My last book is all about science experiments. It's called 11 Experiments That Failed by Jenny Ophel. The little girl in this book has a lot of scientific imagination, but not a lot of luck. All her experiments fail. But even Albert Einstein said, imagination is more important than knowledge, and failure is success in progress. But I bet Albert Einstein never covered a dog in glitter, or tried to eat snowballs and ketchup all winter. Or how about, will a piece of bologna fly like a frisbee? I'm sure you can imagine how that turns out. We hope we've sparked your scientific curiosity. Visit your local library to find lots of great science books, and don't forget to ask about the summer reading program, Fizz Boom Read. More of the Library Show coming up after this.
Oh, hey, Shannon. What are you doing?
Hey, I'm trying to create the perfect formula for our Spark the Reaction Young Adult Summer Reading Program, but it's really hard.
You know you can just go to your library, right? The
Really?
Yeah, the librarians make it super easy to sign up.
Well, what do I do?
Well, when you go to your library, you can pick up book review forms, and you can write short book reviews of the books that you read.
Okay, and what about when I'm done?
Well, by the end of the summer, you should bring them back to your library, or you can even submit them online. And then you'll get entered into a drawing for cool prizes, and you'll be invited to our really cool summer reading party in August.
Well, that sounds great, but how am I going to remember all of this?
Dewey!
Dewey, you're right. I can just visit the website and get all my information there.
Yeah, thanks, Dewey.
Thanks, Dewey.
Should we go sign up for summer reading?
Let's do it. For more information on the summer reading program, visit our website at www.cobcat.org/SRP.
But it would be safe to keep your distance until there's no secret that will make you smile. Reliable sources say that chicken soup has found their way out of this
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Thanks for watching. For more information on anything you've seen here today, be sure to visit our website at www.cobcat.org. We'll see you next time.